Level 1. The Intern. You graduate medical school in Guadalajara in the top third of your class. Your family throws a party. Your mother cries. Your father shakes your hand for the first time you can remember. You match at a public hospital in Culiacan, the capital of Sinaloa. The hospital is underfunded and overcrowded. You work 36-hour shifts for a salary that barely covers rent. The waiting room is always full. The supply closet is always empty. You learn to stitch wounds with whatever thread is available. You learn to diagnose without the tests you need. You learn that medicine in Mexico's poor states is an act of improvisation. 3 months in, a man arrives at the emergency entrance after hours. 2 others carry him through the loading dock in the back. They knock with a specific pattern. The night nurse lets them in without being asked. The man has 4 gunshot wounds, 2 in the thigh, 1 in the shoulder, 1 grazing his side. He is conscious and calm in the way that people are calm when they have been here before. One of the men places an envelope on the counter without speaking. The night nurse looks at you. You look at the envelope. You stabilize the patient. You remove the bullets. You don't file a report. The envelope contains $800. Your monthly salary is $600. Level 2, the off-book surgeon. They start calling you by name. You don't know how they have it. You never gave it. A man phones you on a Tuesday night and says your name and an address and nothing else. You go. The house is in a residential neighborhood. Clean floors, good lighting, a surgical table that didn't come from any hospital, medical supplies still in factory packaging, plasma, antibiotics, lidocaine, everything you never had enough of at the public ward. The patient is a young man with a collapsed lung from a knife wound. You perform the procedure. You do it well. You drive home at 4 a.m. and find an envelope on your passenger seat. You know you locked the car, $2,000 in small bills. You sit in your driveway for 20 minutes. You go inside. You don't sleep. The calls come every few weeks at first, then every few days. You tell yourself you are practicing medicine. You tell yourself these men would die without you. You tell yourself the hospital would have called the police and the outcome would have been the same, only slower. You are not entirely wrong. You are also not entirely right. The hospital keeps asking why you are unavailable some nights. You start taking fewer shifts. The exhaustion you claim is real. The reason you give is not. Level 3. The retained physician. A man named Rodrigo meets you at a restaurant. He orders for both of you without asking. He explains that certain business interests appreciate your discretion and your skill. You will be on retainer. $15,000 a month deposited to an account he provides. You will be available within 1 hour when contacted. You will treat anyone they send without asking how the injuries occurred. You will not speak to law enforcement under any circumstances. He says this gently, the way someone explains a company policy. You understand it as a threat. You agree. You keep your hospital position for 6 more months. Then Rodrigo tells you to resign. Too many questions from colleagues about your schedule. You resign. You are now a cartel doctor. Full-time, exclusive. The money is extraordinary. You pay off your student debt in 2 months. You send your parents money without explaining where it came from. They don't ask. You are also 29 years old and you have no life outside of this. No relationships that can know the truth about you. No colleagues you can call when a patient dies on the table and the men watching don't react and you drive home alone carrying it. Level 4. The field medic. They put you in a truck. You travel with a convoy through 3 states over 6 days. Your job is to keep the men functional in transit. Gunshot wounds, untreated infections, a man with appendicitis who waited 4 days to say something because he didn't want to appear weak. You operate in the back of a moving vehicle using a headlamp and whatever you can reach. You lose the man with appendicitis. Not because you were inadequate. Because he waited too long and there was nothing salvageable and you knew it the moment you opened him and you proceeded anyway because not trying was not a choice they would have accepted. You close him. You tell the man in the front seat. The convoy doesn't stop. They bury him 2 hours later on the side of a road in the dark. You realize in this world, medicine is not about saving lives. It is about keeping assets operational. You are not a healer anymore. You are maintenance. Level 5, the interrogation room doctor. There is a room in a concrete building outside a town that does not appear on any map you have seen. Your job in this room is the inverse of everything your training was built on. You are not there to prevent harm. You are there to monitor how much harm a person can survive. A man is restrained in the center. He knows something, or he doesn't. The men asking believe he does. Your role is to check his vitals, read his pupil response, tell them when to stop, to revive him when he loses consciousness, to make sure he remains alive long enough to be useful. You tell yourself you are limiting the damage. You tell yourself, without you, it would be worse. The first time, you vomit in a bathroom down the hall afterward. The second time, you don't. The fifth time, you bring coffee and drink it while you work. You stopped counting after the fifth time. The questions you stopped asking are the ones that allow you to sleep. Level 6, the compound physician. You have a permanent facility now. A clinic inside a mountain compound with 2 nurses and a pharmacist who all answer to the same organization. You treat members and their families. Wives in labor, children with fevers, old men with diabetes who have never had consistent medical care before this. For these patients, you are the only doctor they have trusted with their lives. Some mornings you believe this is the real work, the legitimate practice hidden inside everything else. Then a truck arrives with 3 men and exit wounds, and you move the child you were examining to another room, and you begin. You have delivered children in this compound. You have kept men alive who have killed other men. You are the compound's most essential resource, and you understand what happens to resources that attempt to leave. One of the nurses tried to leave 8 months ago. You have not asked about her. You have become very skilled at not asking. Level 7, the Chief of Medicine. The organization operates across 4 states. You coordinate medical care throughout all of it. You manage 9 doctors, none of whom know each other, all of whom report to you. You recruit them the same way you were recruited. A resident drowning in debt, an overworked surgeon in an understaffed public hospital, a young physician who made one bad decision and has been leveraged with it since. You feel something when you bring them in. Not guilt exactly. Something more precise. Recognition. You know what you are doing to them, and you do it anyway because the organization requires it, and because you stopped having a clear choice years before you noticed. You brief regional commanders on medical readiness the way a military surgeon briefs a colonel. Wound protocols, infection control, pharmaceutical supply chains. You have converted medicine into logistics. The commanders listen to you. They follow your guidance. You carry more authority here than you would have reached in any hospital. You understand how that happened. You don't examine it directly. Level 8, the asset. You are 41 years old. You have not practiced legitimate medicine in over a decade. Your name appears in no registry, no license renewal, no hospital affiliation, no professional record. To the medical establishment, you ceased to exist. To this organization, you are irreplaceable, which means you are permanent. A senior commander sits across from you one afternoon. He explains that your services will now extend to a partner organization across the border. You will travel. You will treat patients not introduced to you by name. You will maintain complete silence about locations, individuals, and procedures. He explains this the same way Rodrigo explained your retainer 12 years ago. Gently. The way you explain something to someone who no longer has a real decision to make, and every person in the room understands that. You nod. You travel. You do what is asked. On the flight back, you look at your hands. They are steady. They have always been steady. That steadiness was what made you valuable. It was also what made you impossible to release. Somewhere in Guadalajara right now, a medical school is holding its graduation. A young doctor in a white coat is shaking the dean's hand. His family is watching. His mother is crying. He believes he is about to begin. He has no idea what medicine will ask of him. He has no idea what he will agree to. One envelope at a time, one night call at a time, one question he decides not to ask at a time. The cycle does not end. It recruits.